Evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good
Good
evening,
evening,
sir.
sir.
Namaskar, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone is very much fine. It's the daily NCR people are in jam, too much of jam.
Naveen, sir, we can start with the session, sir. We can.
Okay, great. Good evening, everyone, once again, and we can starting the session. A very interesting topic for these days called listening and comprehension skills for effective teaching. I feel that this is missing these days in every classroom. Why it is missing? Because too much of pressure of the completing their curriculum on the teacher side, and student even don't want to listen. But as a teacher, we need to deliver a lecture. So that's why I'm going to share certain techniques that how can you make your classroom more engaging while listening and comprehension skills during the classroom. So during the next 1 hour, we are going to do certain activities. We are going to learn few things that what techniques we need to follow while having a class. Now, before starting the session, I would like you to join the first my classroom. You need to join my classroom. How to join? You can just scan this code, QR code, or write. Akshay, if you can copy, I'm just sharing in. So you all can join through this QR code, or you can scan the. You can write classpoint.app 26178. What you need to do? All the participant can join my classroom. Either you can scan this QR code and you will be part of this classroom, or you can open the app called classpoint.app and enter the code 26178 so that we can interact during the session. I hope instruction is clear. Akshay,
Yes.
you can try to join.
Yes, sir.
You
Yes, sir.
can paste this link into the chat window so that we can interact within a presentation. And at the same time, if anybody needs a screenshot, they can directly download. Great, Soumya ma'am. Great, one people have joined. Again, I am explaining you what you need to do. You need to open a browser, Google Chrome or any other browser, and you need to enter the code classpoint.app, and it will ask the class code. Class code is two people have joined. Great, I'm giving a stars. Four people. You can scan the QR code. Great, Akshay has joined. So what you need to do? You can scan the QR code, or you can write this classpoint.app, and you will be part of this classroom. And in case you are disconnected during the presentation, the code will be always visible on my screen. Great. Now people are joined. 12. So 14, 15, the counting is increasing. Great. So these are the stars. 24 people. Great. 28. So we'll start when we'll go reach to the 50. 31. It's increasing very fast now. 29, 30. Great. Akshay, you can paste this code in a chat window so that
Uh,
people can join.
yes, sir. Sir, can you just give me the URL because I'm not able to copy the URL from the screen.
Okay, I'll share. This is the URL and the code. If somebody click on this URL, they can join immediately.
Yes, sir, I got it.
So you can just paste it with you so that everybody can, in case anybody require again, you can share it.
Yes, sir.
Great. We have 45 people within a in this classroom. Good number. Okay. So here we go with the presentation, and you all can see my screen 68. Great. So I'm again sharing this. A very good number, 77. Oh, 82. Okay, great. So the next question you can write, just wait. I need to ask you, now type the name of your state, from which state you have joined. So now you can see your screen is being changed. Punjab, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, great. Haryana, Bihar. Good. You need to write your state name. We got 42 response. People are there, 92. So many people from Punjab. 11 people have joined from Punjab. Himachal 6 plus 1, 7. Andhra Pradesh. Great. So out of 92, 63 people have response. Great. So we have people from across India, from top of the country and the lower part of the country, Jammu Kashmir to Kerala. Great. So we have people from across India. Great. Now, what is the topic? Listening and comprehension skills for effective teaching. Now, during this presentation, I am going to tell you the crucial and how to cultivate them in your students. That's the major thing. Why listening skill matter in teaching? I need to know from you all that why listening skills matter in teaching. You can write in at least 20, 30, 40 words so that we can discuss why teaching skill, listening skills is important in teaching. As I started the session, I said there was a very much good challenge. The reason I'm asking, a reason, no, I'm not asking yes, no. You need to write why teaching listening is list. I want some answers in a 20, 30, 40 words, wherein why listening is matter in the, because we listen here, we can I can understand, we can retain the things on learning for some more time for someone. If we listen properly, then we can learn a better way to connect with the student, because as a teacher we need to listen to the students to follow the instruction, wherein let's say I'm giving instructions. If student will not listen the concept carefully, they are not able to understand. Great. Listening skill is important in teaching to help teacher understand. Great. We got 25 answers, are good answers now I'm getting. So we got 30 response. Understand, need. Great. So we got 37 answers. Okay, great. I'm just closing this. I'm starting with this few answers. Now, these are the things which are written by the various people. Now, let's talk about why teaching is important. First point is building strong teacher student relationship. You have written so many points, but I believe when you listen to the student, you have a better connect with the student. Because when you listen to the student, because I have seen in these days, some of the students says our parent never listen to us, they don't have a time. So as a teacher, because they spend a lot of time with us, so if we connect with them, we talk to them, we listen to them, we have a better relationship. And when I'm taking class, I'm delivering any lecture, so it improves the classroom communication. Because whenever student asks any question, we always try to give more example to explain this concept. So that is involvement and improves the concept. Helps in identifying the learning needs. If student communicate with us, now what we do, we can identify what they require, what is where is the gap actually, and we can encourage student participate in some respect. So that is what, whenever we listen to the teacher, whenever we listen to the students, we listen so many things. And when somebody asks a question, another person try to engaged within that particular concept. Now I just want to know, because this session is for parent, teacher and other, so I just want to know whether you are a parent, teacher or any other. So please answer this first. A for B, parent, teacher. Okay, so most of us are teachers, one parent is here with us. During the presentation, I'm going to ask you many questions. Akshay, or all the participants are on mute?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Once I'll say unmute, so for a minute you can unmute everyone. Okay.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
So we have 35, 36 teachers and only one parent with us, Mohini Sharma, who has joined us, and 38 teachers. So 97% are teacher out of 100. You can just choose on your screen. You will see ABC. When you click on any of the option, your option will be selected. So we have 40 teachers with me. 100 teachers. These are the 100 teachers, those who have joined me. And I can see the live status that these 58 people have not responded. Teachers leave fast. So most of us are teachers here. Great. Now, now, now there is an activity, because listening is very, very important. And as a teacher, we need to listen to the teacher. So this is an activity, listen and clap. To show how attentive listening impact comprehension, let's warm up with an activity. The simple rule is, Akshay, you can unmute the teachers.
Yes, sir.
The rule is simple. Every time you hear the word teacher, I want you to clap once. That's it, just a single clap whenever I say teachers. I hope the instruction is clear, because listening is very important. And every teacher, every student needs to listen. So very simple instruction. I'm going to the next slide, wherein I'm going to read one stanza. And whenever I speak teacher, everyone should clap. Same instruction I'm giving to everyone. Let's see how happily you can clap. So,
अभी रुक जा मेरे
a
मीटिंग चल रही है
teacher inspire Uh, Please unmute. Mute. A teacher inspires students. I want a clapping from whenever I say teacher. A teacher inspires student. A teacher listens carefully. Every learner expects guidance from a teacher. But a good listener can also be a great teacher. So this is a small activity. Akshay, mute everyone. So this is a small activity wherein you can engage your student. You can have certain stanza in your classroom, and you can see how they respond to this. Every time you say some word, they can do some activity. So how carefully they are listening to you? Because I have read somewhere that what is the retention time of a human being? Anybody can tell me what is the retention time of a human being? So it's 22 seconds is the retention power of a normal human being, and which is less than the goldfish. You can imagine the small goldfish, we have a less than that retention. So that's why we have to engage student in a classroom, so that every point, every concept we are explaining, we need to recap, we need to again and again loudly speak in front of the students, that they can grasp this power. So that is what the power of listening. Now, why listening matter in teaching? Because listening occupies about 45% of adult communication time, suppressing the speaking or reading. It means whenever we are in class, normally we speak 45%, and that is majorly. Now, let's take an example. A teacher spend most of the time they listening to the student, answer the questions, concern so much more than thus lecturing. So that is what 45%. So we need to be a high communication share. The foundation of teaching. Effective teaching hinges on the understanding student content through active listening, fostering the response. Let's take another example for this point. When a student says, I don't get this math problem, a teacher who listens is with the method, the number of student confidence. And let's say foundation of teaching means if the student asks you any problem, you explain it again with a different method. So when you listen the question carefully, so many other students listen to the same answer again, and they understand the concept in a better way. So that is what listening foundation teaching. Then cognitive advantage. So when we are talking about, it's not only theoretical, it's a verbal, it's a logical thinking. Whenever we talk about cognitive advantage, listening comprehension often outspaces reading comprehension, especially in learning stages, make it critical entry point or knowledge. Now, why I'm saying this, let's say an example. A child can understand bedtime story long before they learn to read words themselves. Imagine, without any book, the student can learn the story. So whenever teacher leverage by explaining the concept verbally before moving to the text, they remember the concept. I hope this point is very much clear. Cognitive advantage. Whenever students listen to the bed story, they remember for a whole life. And how many of you have seen the Sholay movie? Let's take a poll here. How many of you have seen the Sholay movie? If you see, watch, say yes. If no, so once, two people, three. So how many of you have seen Sholay? So many people have not watched. 50 years completed Sholay movie. So we got 30 people who's answered. We have 9 people have not watched. Please watch Sholay movie. It's all time blockbuster of first Indian movie. 24 people said yes. So those who have meant, I hope that those who have not watched the movie, they know the dialogues, at least few of the dialogues. Tumhara kya hoga Kalia? Kitne aadmi
Yes,
the? So
yes.
these dialogues. So when we have listened these dialogues, we remember this. Same way, student works like this only. Whenever we repeat things, they remember, and they remember each and every action of a teacher. Thank you, everyone. We got 43 response out of 43. 12 people have not watched, so please, you must watch. Great. So now, the 8 key listening comprehension skills to teach. These are the 8 principles which we need to learn. Now, what is the first point? Recognizing the literal meaning. Grasp explicit fact details directly stated by the speaker. As a teacher, let's say if a teacher says the capital of France is Paris. So in this, we can recall the word Paris again and again so that the student can recognize the literal meaning. So that is what, whenever we are teaching a concept, we need to emphasize on a particular word. What is the most important word in that particular line? Then understanding the vocabulary. We need to understand. We should not go into the class wherein we are using our own vocabulary. We should use the vocabulary which is normally used in a day-to-day language. Except English, I'm not talking about English language. Let's say hearing bark. Students should know whether it refers to dog sound or tree covering dependent upon a context. So this is again an English concept wherein I say hearing bark. So bark can be used as a dog sound or that can be used as a tree covering dependent on a context. So whenever we are using any understanding, whenever we are using any vocabulary, we should understand the concept. Making inferences. Read between the lines, deduce the meaning beyond this. Another example for this is, let's say I carried an umbrella. Soon the ground was wet. There infer it was raining. It means making inferences means you have connection between the two words, two lines. That's called making inferences. Now, next is identifying the main idea. Pinpoint the central message or gist spoken on the content. Means whenever you are talking about any point, you are explaining any concept, you should talk about the main idea of that particular concept. Let's say after a short story, the story is about keeping the environment clean. So what we need to talk about? We need to talk about pollution, we need to talk about green energy, we need to talk about identifying the main ideas of particular concept. Now next is determining the purpose. Understanding why speakers share the information on this. That is what the next point is. If teacher says revise chapter 3 tonight, the purpose is prepare for a test. So whenever we are giving any instruction, we need to be very much clear that what they have to do after this work. Then drawing conclusion. First is drawing conclusion. So whenever I say drawing conclusion, the shop shutters are down, the lights off, student should conclude the shop is closed. So you are giving some statement wherein student can conclude that what is the meaning of that particular statement. Let's say the shop is closed. I need to explain them shop is closed. So if I say it's a dark, then the shops will be closed. So the meaning should be concluding and then analyzing the reasoning. There should be some reason. Now, what kind of, if someone says all good student gets A and Ravi got an A, so Ravi is a good student or not? So we should not, and we should analyze the statement, the logical coherence between the two statements. So learners should evaluate their reasoning valid or not. So whatever the example you are giving in a class, you should be able to give some reason to that. It should not be in a way wherein student cannot get a logic and the finding the evidence. Locate supporting details and facts. So whenever we are giving some statement, we should have a logical finding evidence. So these are the 8 key listening comprehension skills within a class that we should recognize the words. We should use the vocabulary which are normally in use rather than which have a certain ambiguous meaning, and the student should get a conclusion. I hope these principles are clear to everyone. So herein I'll take a one small test. What do you understand with this concept? So I'm creating a question here. So you can write this question. It's a Bloom taxonomy. After explaining this thing, it's a understand Bloom taxonomy. So you can answer this question. So now you can answer this question. Which of the following is a key listening comprehension skill that involve understanding speaker's intent? D. So everyone mark will D. Some people are marking A. B. We got 35. We have 104 people in the classroom. Few people are answering. The question says, which of the following is a key listening comprehension that involves understanding speaker intent? We got 44 answers. Great. So let's see. So I'm giving a stars to everyone. And so the correct answer is B. Determining the purpose is the major thing. So three people have marked B. So that is a correct answer. The following is a key listening comprehension skill that determining the purpose. Why we are giving that lecture. So let's another activity. Watch this video carefully. I'm sharing a one video, and then listening skills, again that kind of activity you can do in a class, that you can have some video and you can ask certain questions. That can be on any language. It's not only English. It can be on a social science, wherein I'm sharing one video lecture with a student, and I can ask certain questions. So watch this video, and then I'll ask you a few questions. So let me check whether I'm sharing my sound or not.
If you only have 24 hours in a day, your success is dependent upon how you use the 24. You got to hear me. People talk about Oprah Winfrey, Ted Turner, Warren Buffett. Listen to me. I don't care how much money you make. You only get 24 hours in a day. And the difference between Oprah and the person that's broke is Oprah uses her 24 hours wisely. That's it. Listen to me. That's it. You get 24. I don't care if you broke, you grew up broke. I don't care if you grew up rich. I don't care if you're in college, you're not in college. You only get 24 hours. And I blew up literally. I went from being a high school dropout to selling 6,000 books in less than 6 months. What happened in my 24 hours? I was like, okay, Eric, you got to get a grip on your 24 hours because you're about to be broke for the rest of your life. And that's all I need you to do for me. I can tell you all about your life if you just write down your 24-hour schedule for me and you let me look at it. I can tell you where you're going to be in 5 years. I can tell you where you're going to be in 10 years. I can tell you where you're going to be in 20 years if you keep that schedule.
Sir, you're on mute.
Okay, I hope everyone listen this video carefully and the voice is clear. I hope. Great. Great. So, on the basis of this, I'm going to ask certain questions. So, how good you are in listening to the video? I hope it is clear to everyone. The instruction is clear. Instruction is clear to everyone. Great. So, people have a habit of okay. Now, coming back to the PowerPoint, this was my slide. Comprehension question on motivational video. Let's talk about the first question. What is the primary purpose of motivational channel according to the description? To provide entertainment content, to share motivational so you can answer this. What is the primary purpose of this video? Great. So it was a time based question. 43. Great. So this the person who marked Anubhiti ma'am marked very fast in 5.6 seconds. So the answer is to share the motivational and inspirational speeches, the primary purpose. Again, I'm sharing another screen and I'm asking the another question. Who was featured in the video? If you are an English teacher, you must know very famous motivational speaker who is the featured as the speaker in the content described. So many people, Tony Robinson, they marked it like मेरे साथ वाले ने बोला इसलिए मैंने भी बोल दिया. The right answer is Eric. Answer is Eric Thomas. So who marked? Parminder madam has marked both the question correct, and 16.2 seconds she has taken to answer both the question. Great, ma'am. And total responses we got 52. Great. So this is the power of listening. Next is, what are the types of listening? Now, so there are two types of listening: passive listening and active listening. Now, it's a very common concept when we say active listening. And can somebody raise a hand and can speak, or you can write on this screen? Let me explain first what is the purpose of active listening and hearing without engagement, a conscious effort. So that is what active listening often leads to confusion, misunderstanding, or disengagement. Student may not along with the reframe little. So let's talk about the issues. The whenever we do the passive listening, there is a lead to confusion. Behavior of the student might not along with the intention. Let's take an example for passive listening. A teacher explains a science experiment. A student keep looking at the board and nodding but later cannot recall the steps because they were hearing, not listening. So that's called passive listening. Means I have explained the concept, complete steps, but he was hearing, not listening. It means he was there, but not his retention power is there. So that is
हम्म,
what
Yeah.
passive listening.
ऑनलाइन मीटिंग 10 मिनट का
Whenever we talk about active listening, so the active listening is engages the listener through verbal and non-verbal feedback. We ask how you are feeling. Let's take active listening feedback. Sorry. Are you all feeling sleepy? Yes or no? Say yes or no. Are you feeling sleepy? Or is the session bore? So many people are saying no. Few people says feeling sleepy. Who are these two people who are feeling sleepy and they still want to learn? These are the three people who are feeling very sleepy. Take the tea, ma'am. You get some energy. We all are teachers. So 34 people are not feeling sleepy. Okay, great. So I'll ask another question on this ground. Teaching is active, listening is crucial. Is the session engaging? Yes or no? Again, is the session is engaging or not? Great. So 26 response, 29, everyone saying it's engaging, that you are listening to me because I am covering all concept again and again. So that we have to do in a classroom. We need to make classroom engagement with so many activities. There are so many tools available these days that you can make your classroom engaging. Like gamification is another way. Great. So teaching active listening is very crucial. It transforms students from mere recipient of information to engaged participants in a learning journey. Encourage visual cues like eye contact, verbal affirmation to reinforce understanding. So that is what are active listening, which makes your learners engaging, and their eye contact. You can read it because we all are experienced teacher. I hope we can read the eyes of the students whether they are getting the concept or not. So that is what we are talking about, active listening of the student in the classroom. We need to have a deeper comprehension and classroom participation. We need to dynamic interactive learning environment wherein every student must participate. You should ask the question to the student after every 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You can ask the question, are you getting any kind of thing? That's the reason that NEP is reducing the course curriculum. Because when I started the session, I said that there was too much burden of completing the curriculum on every teacher. Since the curriculum is getting reduced, the curriculum is getting compact, we need to explain the concept more practically, more engaging way, more activity based. That is what active listening required as well. Now, top down and bottom up listening strategy. So you should have a strategy. Focus on individual sounds, stress words, phrases, grammatical structure to build the meaning. So, whenever we are going to a class, we should have a certain strategy. The strategy should be bottom up approach. Individual sounds of the words, stress on the word. Like I'm saying, I've explained bottom up processing twice. So, it means I am stressing on the word bottom up processing. Let's take an example. A beginner English learner. The cat is on the mat. The cat is on the mat. So where we need to emphasize, the cat is on the mat. The cat is on the mat. So I am emphasizing on three words: a cat is and a mat. So that is what the bottom and you can change the certain grammar as well. So we need to create the process, decode the step by step, construct the full meaning. It matters. Help the learner to understand precise information and construct a meaning from the smallest unit of a language. Let's say you are explaining certain concept, so you need to explain each and every word. Essential for decoding the precise information understanding, because whenever they read the book, they concise, that's written in the concise shape. But when we are explaining the class, we need to be decode the words which are written in the book. So that is what the bottom up strategy within a classroom, wherein we can deliver a lecture which make classroom more engaging. Now, practical classroom strategy to enhance listening. What will you do in your class? Three to flee. It means whenever you are in class, pause every 5 minutes and ask student to write down and share their key takeaways. This encourage continuous engagement and self-assessment of the comprehension during the class lesson. I hope it is clear. So whenever you're taking class, pause between the 5 minutes and you can ask, write something. And if you are presenting, there should be bundles of bullets and views. There should be visual diagrams that accommodates the different learning styles and reinforce auditory input with the visual cues. So whenever you are giving a lecture, you can use a blackboard or you can have a PowerPoint with you, which makes them are always seeing on the screen different types of learner we are catering. Then scales and signs. Implement quick or non-verbal self-assessment tool. Student can use thumbs up, ratings, or colored cards to indicate their level of understanding. You can carry the three cards, and whenever you have taken a session, you can say just raise this color card. When you say got it, green card, yellow card, red card for not understanding anything, so you can give a 5 color cards. So that all strategies you can use it in a classroom to make classroom more engaging, and everybody should be part of the class. These strategies can create a feedback loops, allowing you to gauge comprehension, adjust your teaching in a real time. They empower students to take ownership of their listening process. I hope it is clear. So I am going to take again your feedback. 5 is the highest level and 0 is the lowest. So let's take engagement feedback immediately of this session. Neutral. So we got 38 response out of 104. We got 34, 41. More people can answer. So those who have connected, we have 104. 30 people say strongly agree that we can use these concepts in a classroom so that that classroom can be more engaging. Everyone has their own style of teaching, but there are certain techniques which we can implement in our classrooms. Great. Thank you everyone for response. Great. So this is what the quick poll submission of the teachers, that these points are skills and signs to take more engaging. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Using repetition and multi-modal supports. Now, what is that? Strategic repetition. Play audio video content multiple times. So that very task and round, first listen, main idea, second details. So again, that multi-modal views we can use. Encourage paraphrasing key concept allowed to a partner after initial listening. So they can talk to each other. They can initially talk to the partner and listen to again. Then multimodal reinforcement, whatever the concept they have learned from the strategic repetition, use the colored pen, sticky notes to help students track, categorize information as they listen. So that is again multimodal reinforcement. Then they can do the incorporate gesture, visual aids, even motor activities to physical reinforcements, comprehension of the memory recall. So they can do certain activities like they can stand, they can speak, they can talk to each other. So that incorporate. So multimodal supports cater to the diverse learning preferences, create stronger memory pathways. These more sense involve the better retention power. Whenever you have these kind of strategy in a classroom, they learn for a longer time. As I asked, whenever you watch the movies, you remember the story. So these are the engaging way in a classroom. Building listening comprehension to complex content. Preparation is a key. Now, always preview the topic, introduce the key vocabulary before presenting the complex lecture. Let's say you have a very complex lecture, which you know that it's tough to explain to the student. So, what will you do in a classroom? First, write the vocabulary which you are going to use during the lecture. And before starting the lecture, provide a framework or an outline to the student to know that what expect, where to focus on their listening. So before starting any lecture, you can tell, for example, whenever I start as a teacher, whenever I start any lecture, I write the key points of the chapter. Then I'll start explaining each and chapters, pointers. That is what complex chapter we are going to explain. Effective note taking. Now they have to take a notes. How will you teach so that student can take notes in a proper way? Teacher student various note making method focus on main ideas, supporting details, and organizational partner. For example, the cornell and the mind maps. Students, teachers is making a mind map. Student is noting down the through a mind maps. So that is all kind of things note making. So student, you should explain them. Whatever I'm explaining, you can make a fast mind map. That's a way that student can learn faster. But to create a mind map, you need to explain to students that how they can create a mind maps. Before starting a lecture, you need to tell them what is a mind map and how they can take a mind maps notes. Emphasize active listening during the note taking rather than verbatim transcription. So we need to emphasize on active learning, active listening, so that student can make a notes in a proper way. Now, let's say I have prepared the lecture with the key pointers. Then I have told them how to take notes for this complex chapter. Then post lecture, you have completed your lecture. Then what you need to do? Encourage immediate post lecture review and discussion to solidify the understanding. So no, everyone can discuss about the topic and assign the follow-up questions to require student recall, synthesize, and analyze the listen content. So that is what the building listening content of the complex topic. Now, what is the impact when we are following this strategy? What will be the impact? Enhance the test scores. Whenever teacher do these kind of activities within a classroom, you will find out your student score is increasing. Holistic literacy, strong listening comprehension forms crucial foundation for both reading fluency and effective writing skill, because they are listening to you, they are every time, so they are better in writing and listening. And last, critical engagement. Empower student to engage critically with the information, ask insightful questions, collaborate effectively with the peers. So when they understand the concept, they can discuss with each other. If the student has not got any concept, they will not discuss it. And they can, when they are having a peer learning, again there is a concept called peer learning. When they learn through a peer, then they will be in a better position and for the lifetime learner. So these skills are required for improving their academic outcomes and preparing the student for the lifelong learning and effective communication. That is the most important part of the classroom teaching these days. Now, empower teaching through listening mastery. First, prioritize listening skills development as a core instructional goal. Utilize the target assessment to identify, address the individual student need. As we are in the AI, so we can create different kind of assessment for the individual student needs. And then assessment should not be summative or formative, it can be in any ways. Cultivate active strategic listening to transform classroom learning, elevate student outcomes. That is what listening mastery. When you do this, let's do the one MCQ on this. So this is a question which I have created. Again, remember, what is the primary focus of developing listening skill in teaching? So we have 104 people and we are getting 50 responses. It's very sad. And how many, Akshay, how many are in the this?
They are 420, sir.
420, and we're getting, are they writing in the chat window as well the answers?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Great. So we have an engagement of the session actually. Great. So we got 40 response, 41, 42. Great. So the answer is, what is the answer? Enhance. Answer is B. Empower teaching through listening mastery. That is the primary focus of developing listening skill in teaching. So B is a techniques for teacher to enhance listening. Maintain eye contact with the student. Whenever student is asking a question, we should make an eye contact with the student. Avoid interrupting, let student finish. Means if the student is asking one question and we interrupt it before he finishes his whatever he wants to say. Paraphrase student answer to show understanding. So if I am asking a question, we have already explained the concept. Now we need to reframe. We have to give another example to explain the same concept. Ask probing question to check comprehension. We can ask a related question, and we can have a provide constructive feedback when they ask the question. So this is a technique for teacher to enhance the listening. Classroom practice, what you can do within a class. Whenever you're going to class, begin a class with a listening warm up. We can ask certain question, how are you, and these kind of basic questions. We use multimedia. You can use a multimedia. Pause during the lecture and ask student to summarize. As I said, 5 minutes pause. Encourage reflective listening journals and create a respectful. If you respect the student, the student will respect you. So create a respectful listening environment. When you listen to the student, student will listen to you. It's a vice versa concept in these days. Takeaways from this session: effective listening is the most foundation effective teaching. By practicing active listening, teaching student how to listen, and teacher can create a culture of respect, engagement, and deeper comprehension. So that is the crux of this whole 1 hour session, wherein I explained you why listening is important, what you have to do while in a classroom, how can you make your classroom more engaging. Now it's time to write the share your feedback for this session. So you can write how was the session in a 30, 40, 50 words. How was the session? It was good, best, better, worst, or scope for the improvement. You can write anything. I am hiding the response. You can write anything. A positive or negative, you can write any response. Whatever you feel about the session, you can write in the feedback. So I'm getting responses on my window, 23 responses, 24. Great. Amit Kumar has written a very good comment. So I'm still getting a responses. 35 response. If we can take a quick 2 or 3 questions, Akshay, can we take 2, 3 questions?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So here we end the session, and people are still writing some feedback. I'm pleased to get these kind of good feedbacks.
Sir, I'm enabling the mic option to everyone.
Don't make it everyone. Just tell them to raise their hand,
Sure, sir.
and then you can unmute. Otherwise, so many people will be.
Sure, sir. Teachers and parents, we request if anyone has any doubt, please raise your hand. I will unmute yourself.
You can just raise your hand if you want to ask any question for about this power presentation.
So I don't think so anyone has any doubt. Ma'am?
You should be okay. Dr. Naveen, it was a pleasure listening to you throughout the evening. And I know you made it on time. You were struggling to reach on time for the webinar, but I'm so glad that you were there and you have successfully delivered a very interactive and engaging session. And wholehearted gratitude and thanks to you, Dr. Naveen Gupta. Thank you for your time and for accommodating our request as well. Thank
Thank
you
you so
so
much.
much, teachers and parents, for joining in and making another session very successful for all of us. It was a pleasure meeting you all again. If you still have any queries, we can wait for 1 or 2 minutes. Else, we will call it a closure for the webinar. I don't think anyone has any questions, sir. So thank you once again and
Thank
have a
you
good
so much.
evening from all of us.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank